Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Central Valley TV. I'm your host, Carlos Franco. We're here live at the Lodi Great Bowl for today's contest versus the Lancaster Mustangs and your Central Valley Heat. We wanted to welcome you here to the Great Bowl, this great archaic stadium on a very special night that the Heat's putting on today. Now, today's game, if you notice the Central Valley Heat, they're wearing their home uniforms, and they have pink and they have blue on their uniforms. That's in honor of people who are have breast cancer and autism. Now, the colors were chosen as multiple family members of our players have been affected by either one of these conditions. The colors serve as a reminder for the cause we play, to spread the word, and to urge people to get a regular checkup with their doctor and lead a healthy life. The Heat is playing in honor of autistic children, family, and community members who deserve to be included in sports and our community as a whole. The San Joaquin County Office of Education Special Education Programs supports every child's right to an education designed to meet individual needs. It is essential to provide experiences that will enable the individual to be active learners and have potential for growth. To learn more about special education services in San Joaquin County, visit www.sjcoe.org or call 209-468-9729. Very special day here at a very special place. I was telling the owner here of Central Valley TV, Carlos, my tocayo here, about this archaic stadium. It's been around since the 40s. Even hosted some college bowl games back when UOP, University of the Pacific, had football. So this is a great place. Nice sunny day here in Lodi, California, and we're ready for the kickoff. Now, Lancaster Mustangs, they made that 5-6 hour drive. They're coming up from down south. Their head coach is Keith Thompson. They're 1-4. They have played the cream of the cream, though, as you say, the cream of the creme, I should say, of the CFCA already. And we'll get back to their record. And there's a kickoff. And, the turf monster strikes again. That looks like number 21 on the return for Central Valley. That's Dejon Sally, who is their leading rusher as well. I was talking about the Mustangs that they drove up north from Lancaster, and they've been in some tough games already. They're battle-tested. They played the top teams in the CFCA, and they're coming off a win last week. They feel really confident about what they could do. They have some serious weapons. They have number one is a quarterback, Vincent Strange, who is also their second leading rusher. As we go to live action here, the Central Valley Heat's going to take over 1st and 10. Christopher McLeod operating the offense for the Heat. MJC product sitting in the shotgun. Fumble snap there. Sally picks up his fumble, and he keeps his feet going. Wow. Good effort by Sally, making something out of nothing. Taken down by number 2, Justin Mason, and number 10, Chris Johnson. Now, we're talking about Lancaster. They took that drive, and they are the Mustangs, but the herd looks pretty thin today. And what I mean by that is there's not a lot of players that showed up here. They're still on their way. We were delayed as a game. We're waiting on the Mustang players to arrive here at the stadium. So that's going to be a factor, as a lot of players in this adult developmental league play both ways. Fatigue will be a factor. 2nd and 5. McLeod looking to his right. Gets the ball in a hurry, number 14. Nice catch, nice run. That's DJ Morgan out of Tracy, Kimball High School. He's going to pick up a first down for the Heat. Now, the Heat comes in today's game at 0-5. They've had some struggles, I should say, offensively in regards to putting the ball in the end zone. They've been their own worst enemy with penalties, turnovers. So it's essential that they start strong today and sustain some drives. Now, we have an injured player for the Mustangs. Not sure what the number is. And I mentioned that fatigue is going to be a factor, let alone injuries. where you have a thin roster already.
Number 9.
Now, it appears that number 9 is the person who's down. That's Cheetah Fletcher's receiver for the Mustangs. He does everything for the Mustangs. Now, he's a receiver. His name's Cheetah. His name would have to be Cheetah, right? I mean, that's just a cool name if you're a receiver. He's getting up on his own power. I mean, if you were an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, you couldn't be named Cheetah. Now, Cheetah is leading the team in receptions. He has 151 yards, 6 receptions, 1 touchdown. He's essential for the Lancaster Mustangs. He really take the top off defense there with vertical threat. He's on the sideline, though. He's being looked at by a trainer. As we're going to go back to live action here. As we got number 7 coming out. That's Sean Johnson. And McLeod back to live action, rolling to his left. He's going to keep it. Taken out from behind. Number 10, Chris Johnson from Palmdale High School takes McLeod down. The helmet comes off. Now McLeod is pretty much taking every snap from center with exception of about 3 snaps that Frankie Martinez has taken. He's put up some impressive numbers, the Modesto Junior College product. But as I mentioned, the big number is touchdowns. Got to get the ball in the end zone. And the handoff there.
Forward progress.
Now I believe that was number 21. That was number 21, Dejon Sally, the leading rusher for the Heat out of Central Valley High School. It's going to be third and less than a yard. Now today's game, because it started a little bit late, we're going to go with 12-minute quarters. Now the referee signaling, I believe he's signaling first down. It's a little bit late signal there from the line judge, so it is a first down. Sally picks up first down, 1st and 10 from midfield for the Heat. 4 receivers, 2 to either side. Looks like McLeod sees something. He's going to change the play. Rolling out to his left, throws back across the middle. That's going to be number 1, Frankie Martinez, with his first catch of the day. He's the leading receiver for the Heat. Frankie's put up some impressive numbers. I remember week 1, he put everybody on notice. He said, I'm here. This is what I do. Had a big night against the Bakersfield Hawks. He's continued on. He's got 239 yards on 19 receptions. And he's been McLeod's go-to target. So that was Frankie's first catch of the afternoon. McLeod comes up, same formation. 2 receivers the other side. Side cart to the right. McLeod's going to keep it. Number 5, McLeod, I like how he's protecting the ball there. A lot of times quarterbacks run, they try to, that pump fake even though they cross the line of scrimmage. He said, I'm running, I'm protecting the ball. Picked up a first down. Now this is something that the Heat could take advantage of, the Lancaster Mustangs. Some of the guys just got out of the car, man. So they're going to come out, try to get on top early, and then put their foot on the gas pedal. So now we got 20s personnel. McLeod changing the play possibly at the line of scrimmage. Handoff is going to be to 21. running hard. Dejon Sally was initially hit by number 22, Levi Jackson, and he just ran through Jackson's tackle. Now, we mentioned that the Heat is 0-5 right now. Lancaster has the 1 win. And Lancaster is battle tested, as we mentioned. Now, the Heat, and talking to administration here for Central Valley, we're saying basically this is a game that we have to get things going. We have to sustain some drives and not turn the ball over and just let our players do what they can. Look at the number 2 receiver at the top there, uncovered. Maybe a little quick throw to him. Yep, there, that was the attempt. CJ saw what I saw. The quarterback saw what I was seeing there. And number 10, Chris Johnson, makes a nice play. Now, as far as quarterbacks, I see a lot of cover 1, cover 0, cover 2 in this league. Once in a while, you see some variations. Again, it's an adult developmental league. And playing defensive back is kind of like playing basketball when you're in sync with your starting 5. You know, so try to keep it simple here with basic coverages. And if you get a quarterback like McLeod who has some college experience and maybe just a film junkie like I am, and you watch film, you see a lot of things happening here. So McLeod being the general there, has 3 receivers to his left. Watch out up top. He's got single coverage. Looking over there. Hands the ball to Sally. Running hard. Dejon Sally bounces off the tackle. That was number 50 trying to make that tackle, Tariq Campbell. He gets up and was like, what just happened? He's like, man, I just got out of the car and I just got ran over by a car. He probably feels like. Nice run by Sally. So now, the Heat have a 4th down on the 31-yard line. And, of course, there's going to be no field goal attempt. We talked about how they basically got to get some drives together now. A little bit of confusion there. Receivers are open already to his right. And there it is. Find the open spot. Attack the green, as we say, is Frankie Martinez. Probably could have thrown the ball initially right when the ball was snapped. A little bit of confusion on the coverage, it seemed like, with Lancaster. Staying in their coverage. Frankie picks up a 1st down. Nice pitch and catch. A lot of green here at the bottom of your screen. 3 receivers at the top. And McLeod gives the ball to Sally. Nice pickup on 1st down. Picks up about 3, I believe. So it's going to be 2nd and 7. He's got number 27 coming in the game. That's Peyton, I should say. He's a running back out of Menlo Atherton High School. Comes to the game for the Heat. So the Heat staying in the spread formation, 2 receivers either side, single back, 10 personnel. And McLeod looking deep, nothing there. Wisely throws the ball out of bounds. He's trying to find Frankie Martinez going down the sideline. He had 2 receivers at the bottom of the screen there. Basically ran a high-low. One guy went short, one guy goes deep, being Frankie. He was trying to get him the ball. So now we're at 3rd and 7.
That name sounds familiar too. He might have been on the Hurricanes.
And I want to thank everyone for joining us. Our sponsors is Rough Road Adventures, Daniel Villa Art Studio, Dynamic Security, and we'll talk about those a little bit later as well. Other sponsors, people that help make this event possible today. So the Heat on this opening drive, looking at a 3rd and 7, number 3 in motion. And McLeod's going to keep it, and he goes down. He's sacked by number 7. That's a huge sack. That's Sean Johnson out of Lancaster. Coastline Community College. Comes up with a big sack there. Now it's 4th down. Now they're yelling field goal, field goal. This is the first here we're going to see. Got to hurry up. Kind of a late decision. You cannot get a delay of game here because it's going to put you out of field goal range. Taking a little bit too much time. There got to be some urgency here. Make sure you have a little bit of
4 minutes to go.
Here we go, field goal attempt. Oh, it's a high snap. Number 90 was in there. Oh, it's going to be oh my goodness, number 90 is there to try to recover the kick. Now Lancaster was going to try a scoop and score. Oh my goodness, the Heat, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, they've been their own worst enemy. High snap there. Had a nice initial drive going and come away with 0, and Lancaster's going to take over 1st and 10 from their own, from the Heat 45-yard line. That was a huge, huge miscue by the Heat. Well, we're going to go back to our sponsors at Central Valley TV is bringing you this broadcast. And we wanted to, once again, point out that the jerseys being used by Central Valley Heat is in honor of breast cancer and autism. And we urge people to get the help they need, visit their doctors. And I'm not sure what's going on right now, if there is an injured player. There's been a stoppage of play. The timeout was taken there, which is a little strange. On clock had stopped because of the change of possession. Well, let's go over some of the league and what's going on. The Alameda County Knights are 1-3. They're in the first year of the CFCA. The Bakersfield Hawks are coming in tonight's game. They're playing later tonight. They're 2-3 right now. They've been operating for 3 years out of Bakersfield, California. The Bay Delta Nightmare, they're 1-3. First year in the CFCA. The California Buckeyes, they're 4-1. Doing really well. Central Valley Heat, we mentioned 0-5, looking for their first win today. The East Bay Rogue, their first year in the CFCA, they're 4-1, based out of Oakland. We talked about the Lancaster Mustangs here coming in at 1-4, looking for their second win. Mid-Valley Wolfpack, current champions, defending champions, they're 3-1 out of Fresno. NorCal Stampedes at 1-4. North Bay Rattlers, they are 4-0. As of now, the Reno Raiders are 1-3. River City Tigers 5-1, and the Valley Jets are 3-1. As we go back to live play here, number 18 in at quarterback. That's Robert James. Hands the ball off to his running back. It's number 2, Justin Manson. Looks like he picks up 2 yards, like his jersey, so it's going to be second down. I gained about 1 or 2. I'm not sure. We're going to see. So number 18 at quarterback, under duress, keeps it, takes off. So 18, that's Robert James. Making something out of nothing. It's going to be third down. And the Heat looking good defensively. So it's going to be 3rd and 7. Now defensively, the Heat, get back to some stats for you in a sec here after this play. So Robert James, 18 at quarterback, has 2 receivers to either side. Running back number 2 to his right as the Heat, he's pointing out a possible blitz coming from his left, and here it comes. So he's going to have some man coverage there. He's throwing the ball deep. Oh! Ball was intended, pass was intended for number 29. And I'm trying to see, I think it's number 0 for the Heat. That's Sincon, who leading the team in interceptions. Looking at himself, looking at his hands, saying, why didn't you work? That could have been mine. Could have been another interception for him. Speaking of stats, tackles, leading tackler is DeAndre Davis for the Heat. Defensively, Nick Angelo has been causing havoc with 8 sacks. We talked about Sincon leading the team in interceptions. He almost had a second. Fumble recoveries, that guy Nick Angelo Sr. again.
Minute 45 to go, first quarter.
There's a minute 45 left in the first quarter. 0-0 here from the Lodi Great Bowl, and they're going to go for it on 4th down. Lancaster comes out, same formation from the prior play. Takes a snap, he's rolling out. There's Nick Angelo, we just mentioned him. Pass falls incomplete. The Heat hold. Nick Angelo probably heard us talking about him. Now, Nick Angelo is Nick Angelo Sr., which means that's bad news for anyone who's a quarterback and you're 10 years of age or younger. That means he's got a son that's going to be coming after you. So he's leading the team with 8 sacks. And that's a big stat right there. Not necessarily the sacks, but like what he just did right now was to hurry up the quarterback, the hurries, the pressures, the batted balls. Those aren't as sexy as we say as stats as sacks are, and he's leading the team in the sack department. But what he did right now with the help of his teammates was big. Pass fell incomplete, and now the Heat are going to take over 1st and 10. And there we go, big hole. Nice run. Nice offensive line play. Kudos to Coach Brooks. Now, that was number 20, the ball carrier for the Heat. Sway Adams. Sway comes to us from Tracy, California. Nice run to the left. Picked up 9. So it's going to be 2nd and 1 for McLeod in the Heat. We're down to 46 seconds in the first quarter. 0-0 here. And McLeod doesn't like what he sees. He takes a timeout with 40 seconds left in the first quarter. The score is 0-0. So we talked to you a little bit about today's awareness game. We talked a little bit about the league and how it's going with the standings. And we wanted to talk a little bit about this stadium. I mentioned it earlier. I was giddy just to be here. It's an archaic stadium built in the 40s. Used to play softball in here. I mean, this was like, it had softball fields. It had a lot of different things going on here. It's the home of Lodi High School. And then when Tokay High School was built, it was the home of Tokay High School as well. It continues to be the home of Lodi High School. And right now we're sitting here watching the Central Valley Heat play. So a lot of history here. Coming from the Great Bowl. Want to thank also Chef Omar cooking a nice spread here. If you could visit the snack bar. So here we go, going back to live play. Single receiver up top, single coverage, I should say, and there we go. And number 1 with a great play up there, Vincent Strange Jr. feeling really confident. Pass was completed, number 14, DJ Morgan. And Strange was on an island by himself, and it didn't faze him at all. Ball was caught, he came up, made a nice tackle. All right, the clock continues to run. We're at 11 seconds here. The Heat, they're at 9, 8. This is in the first quarter, 0-0. We're down to 5 seconds. See if they get the play off. 2, 1, and the play, they got it off. There's a penalty marker. As number 7, that's Sean Johnson, excuse me, takes down number 20, Sway Adams. Takes to the end of the first quarter. So end of the first quarter, 0-0 here from the Lodi Great Bowl.
Game sponsors, Central Valley TV, serving the Tri-County area.
As we'll take some time to allow the PA announcer to make some announcements.
With independent fact-checking journalism, Central Valley TV reaches an audience of over 200,000 viewers across multiple platforms. Don't forget to follow them online, on social media, on Instagram, and on Facebook.
Big football fan, that's for sure.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Central Valley TV. I'm your host, Carlos Franco, and we're starting the second quarter. It is 0-0 here from the Lodi Great Bowl. The Heat have a 1st and 15, and here we go. McLeod rolling, to his left. Now there's 2 receivers in the same area. That's not good. That's Frankie Martinez, number 1, and number 3, Suave Moore. Little miscommunication. Everyone's looking at one another there. Now they're talking to Coach Rivera. He's going to get that straightened out.
What did he say? 12 at the end of the quarter now?
Now, I believe that was going to be the end of the quarter. The prior play was the end of the quarter. There was a penalty marker. Took him to 1st and 15, so now we go to the end of the first quarter. And it's 0-0. If you're just joining us, we're playing 12-minute quarters because Lancaster made that long drive from SoCal up here. That's 5-6 hour drive. Got here a little late, and the game started. As a result, the game started late. So kickoff was at 3 o'clock. Was originally scheduled for 2:15. And Lancaster is wearing their red jerseys with white helmets. Central Valley Heat in their home jerseys now with the ball on offense. And we mentioned the blue and the pink in honor of autism and also breast cancer. So here we go. McLeod tapping his head as he looks over to his right. Little signal to his receiver at the bottom of the screen. See if he looks that way. And he goes the opposite direction. Now number 14 is the safety. That's Myron Johnson Kitchings. Over there almost had an interception. He was helping out on the coverage. As Strange was playing corner up there at the top of your screen, number 1. Looked like a little bit of mix-up there by the Heat. Nevertheless, it's going to be 3rd down now. So the Heat takes some time in the huddle. So McLeod comes out, he's surveying the defense. 2 receivers to either side, 10's personnel. Sidecar to his left. He's left-handed. Looking that way. Looks like a little screen set up. And, oh, that's a dangerous throw by McLeod. He initially, I believe, was going to try to get the ball to the running back. And I think he was just kind of throwing that ball away. That was dangerous. That's going to bring up fourth down here, fourth and about 15. As Lancaster is assuming that there's going to be a punt, already has some. McLeod stays in. Got to watch out. You might decide to do something different with the ball instead of kick it. Here's the quarterback. Oh, there's the kick. Nice high kick. Fair catch is called. And good job by number 18 to get down there quickly for the Heat. That's Sean Bowman. Well, we're in the second quarter here from the Lodi Great Bowl, 0-0, 11:41 left in the first half. I want to thank Rough Road Adventures, Dynamic Security, Central Valley TV, Daniel Villa Art Studio, are all our sponsors. That without you guys and our volunteers, you know, we wouldn't be here. So really want to thank you. Each team has 2 timeouts. And here comes Lancaster. Looked like a little bit of confusion. They need a football. And they need a player. So we'll see. 24 comes in the game. That's Nicholas Gamble. And we got a penalty. So we got it looks like there's a legal substitution. Too many men on the field. Can't break the huddle with 12. So here we go. Gamble came in at right guard. He's a good player. Oh my goodness. Looked like we moved too quickly there, number 30. Anxious to get to the quarterback, that's Brian Lee. So moved it back and we'll move it forward. All right, so here we go. We got 10:44 left. First half. We're in the second quarter here. 0-0 from the Great Bowl. Thompson at that's Robert James at quarterback. He hands the ball to his running back, that's number 2. Running to his left, Justin Manson out of Inglewood, California. University of Laverne product. Picks up some positive yards. So it's going to be second down. Robert James still quarterback. Lancaster's used 3 quarterbacks according to statistics, but James has been settled in as the starter. Rolling to his right, picks up a block by number 10. He's going to keep it. Oh, nice run. Robert James. We talked about Nick Angelo Sr. getting sacked. That one got away from him. Impressive run. That's Robert James showing his athleticism, getting out, making a big play there. Picks up a first down for the Mustangs. Now, Robert James comes out now. He's got 2 receivers. No one's covering number 22 out of the backfield to his left. Number 2 receiver here. Uh-oh, we got a bad snap. And James escapes another sack. Okay, let's see who that was. I believe that was Nick. No, let's see. Number 17. Yep, Nick Angelo Sr. had some help from some friends. But let me tell you how impressive that play was. He initially missed and probably went off your screen, got up, turned back, ran, and got back in the play. Real good hustle, real good effort by 17. And like I mentioned, had some help from his teammates. This is the ultimate team sport. So we got 2nd and 11. And the whistles are blowing. Timeout Heat. So timeout Heat. If you're just joining us, the game started a little late today. It was originally scheduled for 2:15 kickoff. Started at 3 o'clock. Lancaster making that long drive. Some of the players arrived late. So as a result, we are playing 12-minute quarters. We're at 8 minutes, 13 seconds left in the second quarter with the score 0-0 here on a beautiful day from Lodi, California at this great archaic stadium, the Great Bowl. Now the Heat is scheduled for another home game. Not sure where yet. They've been working with Lodi and Stockton Unified to use different venues. So follow us on social media. That way you know where we're playing and you come out and support the Heat. All right, so here we go, 2nd and 11. And now we got to change at quarterback. We got 14. Oh, high snap. Goes over his head. Recovers it. And there we go. Familiar name, Nick Angelo Sr. there along with number 44. They get that sack. That's John. John is from, let me see, he's from Ceres High School. Man, that's a big play.
You've got good vision, man.
The Heat are going to have to hold here, get that ball back, force a punt. So 14 is still in at quarterback. We mentioned that there was a change of quarterback. That's Johnson Kitchings with number 2, Manson in the backfield. He's got 2 receivers to either side. Manson goes to the left. High snap once again. He's in his own end zone. That's dangerous. He rolls out of there, gets away. He's being chased by everybody in the Heat uniform. That's going to be a 4th down. Really high snaps. Now, it's easy for us to say, hey, get the snaps right, this and that, but we talked about how this is adult developmental football, so you have people playing different positions. So Ironman football, 1 week you're playing left tackle, 1 week you're playing tight end. You know, these things happen. So doing the best they can out there. So Lancaster's now has a 4th and forever. Coming out, look, they're going to have me in a punt formation here. As I believe number 24, Nicholas Gamble, out of Covina, California. He's going to punt that away. Oh, he kicks it straight up in the air. It goes behind him. Danger, danger. Goes out the back of the end zone. And that's a safety. In all my years, I've never seen that. I've never, ever seen that in all my years of football. So, regardless, that's going to be 2 points on a punt attempt. So now, 2 points for the Heat, and they're going to receive this kickoff or a punt, as they're going to decide, the Lancaster Mustangs are going to decide, are they going to punt the ball or are they going to kick the ball off. And they're going to go back on defense, and the Heat will be back to receive this kick and be ready to go for on offense. This could be a big offensive swing, scoring swing, I should say, for the Heat. So the Heat is missing a player. They need one more on this return team, as the coaches are yelling for someone else here. 4, 5. And there we go. They got 11 coming out for the Heat. And it looks like the Lancaster Mustangs are going to decide to kick off, because you do have that option. You could punt or you could kick off after a safety. That's going to be number 1, Vincent Strange Jr. out of Palmdale College of the Canyons. He's a receiver, defensive back. He's going to kick the ball here, showing his athleticism, all his football skills. And there we go. Short kick, handled by one of the up men here. That's number 12 of the Heat, still on his feet. He's got a convoy in front of him. He's still going down the sideline, cuts back. It looks like he's going to score, ladies and gentlemen. Touchdown, Heat. That's number 12, Hezekiah Dawson. And this place has just erupted. He's from Stockton, California.
Very nice.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Heat.
That was Hezekiah Dawson on the touchdown. On the kick return, up back decided to keep the ball. He said, I'm not going to let it go back to the returners. I'm keeping this ball, and he took off. Touchdown. Now, the Heat have elected to kick the field goal, to point after touchdown, the PAT attempt, as number 90 comes in. That's Anthony Baker to attempt the point after touchdown.
One untimed down.
That's going to come out of the hold of McLeod. And woo! That's going to be blocked by number 22. 22, Levi Jackson, out of Lancaster, Antelope Valley College product, says no, no, no. There's no point after touchdown here. So with the 2-point safety on the punt attempt there by the Mustangs, the ensuing kickoff was returned by Hezekiah Dawson for a touchdown. 5:56 left in the second quarter, and the Heat lead the Mustangs 8-0.
Solutions, installing surveillance cameras, advanced systems, and network integrators. They provide comprehensive security installations and servicing for commercial properties, serving the entire Bay Area, Central Valley, and Southern California. Visit dystimc.com to learn more.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast that the Heat have been their own worst enemy. They haven't been able to get the ball in the end zone now. The offense has not gotten the ball in the end zone. That was special teams. However, who cares right now? They needed that touchdown. It had to come from somewhere. So offensively, second half, hopefully they can put something together, or even with roughly 6 minutes remaining, even though they're kicking the ball off here. Maybe they can get the ball back, try to put some more points on the board for the Heat. Now the Mustangs are set to receive this kickoff. They have some serious firepower back there to receive this kickoff. So the Heat needs to stay in their lanes, be true to the scheme here, stay in their lane and find their landmarks, because the returners from the Mustangs are very capable to take this back. And that's Baker's kickoff. That's going to be number 39, I believe. And as I mentioned, he's got a convoy. That's number 39 for the Mustangs. 39 for Lancaster. He's not. Oh, yes, he is. I apologize there. Clarence Taylor III. I apologize, took me a little bit of time there for Lancaster to find him on the roster. Nice positive return, takes the ball past the 40-yard line. So Taylor's return gives Lancaster 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line. We'll see who comes out at quarterback. Now for Lancaster.
Keep the white hat happy with the clock at the beginning of the game.
So we have 5 minutes, 35 seconds till halftime.
Yeah, I'm glad I.
With the Heat leading Lancaster 8-0. And I believe we have Robert James, 18, back in at quarterback. He started the game and was out for a series. And he's back in now. James sits in the pocket, plenty of time. Looks to his right. Throws the ball off his back foot, and wow, what a catch by number 5. Elijah Ward went up and got the ball. He's out of Lancaster, California. As little John over there.
Yeah, I've done high school, young kids.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Because we were looking.
Referees are stepping in, doing a great job.
So good. Thank you. I'm gonna keep this.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But on my roster, I have Elijah Ward as number 5, and also Rayshawn Tillman is number 5 out of Chatsworth, California. So I'm not sure who that was. So whoever that was, number 5, went up and got that ball, though, as James was under a little bit of duress, threw the ball off his back foot.
Yeah, to get the safety.
So we got 2nd down. It is 2nd and about 4.
The rental of the field and the reps have to be a big expense.
James still in at quarterback. 3 receivers as trips to his right. Single receiver down here to his left. He's looking down here to his left. Ball's up in the air. Oh, a little push in, but it's clean. So we got number 1, Vincent Strange Jr., the intended receiver. Talked about his athleticism. Plays corner, receiver, even kicks off. So he had some coverage. There was a matchup that the Mustangs liked. Try to get him the ball. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 4. 4:43 remains in the 2nd quarter. Heat leading Lancaster 8-0. If you're just joining us, we're playing 12-minute quarters. Game started late. And here we go, Robert James at quarterback. Manson at running back. He's in the pistol formation. 2 receivers to either side. Hands the ball to Manson. Manson on his feet picks up a 1st down. 4:25 remains. Nice run by number 2. Nice blocking also by his offensive line. Now, Lancaster has some firepower, as I mentioned. You still got number 1 down here at the bottom of your screen, Vincent Strange. He might try to give him the ball as he's peeking that way, is James. At least he'll try before the end of this half, that's for sure. So under a little bit of duress, intended for number 14. That's Johnson Kitchens. We had Strange running like a post route, and then Johnson ran a 10-yard out. I'm not sure. By design, they're looking at one another, him and James, maybe a little bit of miscommunication between the 3, not sure. He was looking there the whole time. as we got number 99 coming in for the Heat. That's Bryce out of Houston, California. MJC coming in to maybe turn up the heat, as we say here, right on that pass rush with 3:30 remaining in the first half. So we got stack formation down here at the bottom of your screen. Uh-oh. Little mix-up on the handoff to number 29. So 29 is taken down by number 44. That's John. Along with, I believe, that's 17, Angelo Sr. That play was kind of doomed from the beginning, like a little bit of mix-up on the handoff. Looks like the mesh wasn't too good in between 18 and 29. Those 29 at running back, that's Givens.
2:45 in the half.
And we're down to about 2:40 now remaining in the half. As I'm not sure what the offense is waiting for here. So here we go. That looks like you're going to blitz here. Nope. High snap. Recovered by James. And 33's back there to make sure that he wasn't going to get up. That's Kirk Toney. And we got a penalty. So a high snap leads to big loss in yardage for the Heat, for the Mustangs. Toney made sure he wasn't going to go anywhere with that ball. And we got a penalty on the field. We got a personal foul. It's going to go against the Heat, and the player's been ejected. So I'm not sure who the player was that's been ejected for the Heat.
We want to take our sponsor, Rough Road Adventures. Rough Road Adventures is a veteran-owned and operated company offering handcrafted jewelry, custom laser engraving, personal chef and catering services, event planning, and organization. You can learn more about Rough Road Adventures by visiting roughroadadventures.com. Thank you for sponsoring today's game. We also want to remind everyone that we have some food by Chef Omar. We have wings, tater tots, gourmet chili dogs, and other delicious sauces that you can put in. There's up to 8 sauces available in the concession area. We also have sodas, water, and other drinks available for you. Thank you for coming to today's game.
Number 30 just qualified. Number 30. For youth and home team, we would never announce it anyway. You know?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back to live play here. We had a Heat player that was ejected. We had a high snap, big loss of yards for Lancaster, penalty marker. So the referees are walking off the correct yardage, and they're going to spot the ball. So after that penalty, the Heat decided to take a timeout. We want to thank our sponsor, Central Valley TV, Dynamic Security, Rough Road Adventures, Daniel Villa Art Studio. and Chef Omar. So that's going to be the last timeout for the Heat. The Heat is leading the Mustangs 8-0. 2:14 remains in this first quarter. Excuse me, second quarter in the first half. I apologize. So as they come out, Lancaster comes out with fourth and about maybe 18, 17 yards for the first down. So any route ran by the receivers is going to be at least that, and maybe a little bit less now. They get that offside is going to get them a little bit closer. See if they change the play or they keep the play the same. Attack the sticks. So as a defensive back, you got to know where that first down marker is. Don't jump off sides if you're up by the ball, of course. And here we go, fourth and about 12. So you got three receivers top of your screen. And hits number 14, which is an odd play to run, but almost gets it there. And what I mean by that is he had to get 12. You figure they would throw the ball towards the first down marker. Throws a short pass to number 14, which is Johnson Kitchings, and he doesn't pick up the first down. But I totally understand that sometimes, you're not playing with all your players. And this being the adult developmental league, a lot of players wear different hats or helmets in this case. So sometimes, as I mentioned, a receiver might be actually a defensive back or a linebacker playing different spots. So now the Heat are going to take over on offense with 2 minutes remaining in the first half, leading at Lancaster 8-0.
Well, I'll watch the wiper, see if he stops it. Because he had me to start.
And let's see what they decide to do if they're going to try to get in the end zone, run the 2-minute drill. As they have no timeouts left, they keep the ball on the ground, give it to Sally. Dejan Sally taken down by number 10. That's Chris Johnson. We haven't mentioned Sally in the second quarter. I don't know what happened. Maybe an injury or something. I don't know. He's the team's leading rusher. He's coming out. Oh, excuse me. That was number 27. I apologize. That's Peyton. So going back to Sally, haven't mentioned him too much here in the second quarter. He is still suited up on the sideline.
14.
So we're down to minute 19 as the referees are talking about the prior play. And the Whitecap says, let's wind it up. Let's get that clock rolling. So we're coming down to 1 minute remaining. McLeod. Option pitches it. Uh-oh, to number 20. It's the ball's on the ground. It's picked up by number 35. 39 to scoop and score. Touchdown, Lancaster.
Hit him with excessive celebration, too.
Number 39. Oh, my goodness. What a heads-up play. That's Clarence Taylor III.
Touchdown, Lancaster.
Touchdown, Lancaster. Just like that, it's 8-6. Let's see what they decide to do. There's 51 seconds roughly remaining in the first half. Huge play. Huge play by 39. Clarence Taylor III. And the awareness to pick that ball up and to run with it. Scoop and score drill for all you coaches back home. You players, sometimes you wonder, why are we doing these drills, scoop and score? When is it ever going to happen? Well, right there it happened. So are they going to go for 2 to try to tie this up? Or is it going to be a point after touchdown attempt? Yeah, there's a little bit of confusion over there. Coach Keith Thompson's got a decision to make. Looks like they're going to go for it. Coach Thompson's over there on the 20-yard line directing his troops. So here we go. 2 receivers either side. Look for that inside man to run to the corner of the end zone. He's redirecting him there. And, here we go. Ball's up. And it falls incomplete. As number 18, Robert James, was trying to find that playmaker of his. That's Vincent Strange Jr. And the pass falls incomplete. And just like that, we're looking at 6 to 8.
33 defending.
33 was over there on the pass defense. That's for the Heat. That's Kirk Toney. Now, we had this disastrous play that just happened there with the fumble on an option as McLeod pitched the ball to the running back. Number 39, heads-up play. That's for Lancaster. Clarence Taylor III picked the ball up on the scoop and score, took it in for a touchdown. And just like that, it's a 2-point game with 51 seconds remaining in the first half. Vincent Strange comes out to kickoff. The Heat have no timeouts left. And here we go. Here's Strange's kick. It's an onside kick. Oh, it is recovered by number 42 of the Heat. As everybody in the stadium, including myself, held our breath as Ryan Simmons said, "It's all right, I got it. Now, according to the scoreboard, the Mustangs have 2 timeouts, if I'm correct, according to our scoreboard. So the Heat, they're going to have to run some plays. They can't just take a knee because Coach Thompson's going to elect to take timeouts. So it's going to be real important here, this first down. It's going to dictate what Coach wants to do. Let me tell you, Coach Thompson, I don't know if he's got a helmet over there because he's almost on the field at the 50-yard line. He's really intense. He's yelling at his guys, coaching them up. So here comes Sally. As I mentioned, we hadn't mentioned him too much. And then the second quarter, he's back in now at 21. The handoff is the number 27. And no timeout called. That's the Marshawn Payton out of Modesto. Now that's a timeout. That was by Lancaster. Coach Thompson elected to take it a little bit. He let some time run off, though. I would assume he would have done it immediately. And now he's looking at the ref like, what's going on? Did he call the timeout or did his player call a timeout? Not sure. He looks a little, I don't want to say confused, but like wondering, hey, guys. Anyways, I don't know. But I'm assuming that if he was going to call it, he would have called earlier. So, nevertheless, the timeout was called. And it's possible that Coach Thompson was going to call it on a second down because maybe that was his thinking. But either way, that's behind us. So it's going to be 2nd and 9. The Heat come out. 32 seconds remain. They're leading 8-6. Now McLeod is Oh my goodness, that ball is snapped. He falls on it. And Lancaster's going to let the clock run. McLeod came up to, now it's a timeout. Okay, so timeout was called. What happened on the play was McLeod came up to possibly point out the mic to check with the center about a blocking scheme, and the ball was snapped. Hit him in the leg, and he fell on it. And then Coach Thompson decided to take his final timeout. And there is 20 seconds remaining, 8-6. The Heat lead the Mustangs by 2. In a game that's had a punt, go in for a safety, and an ensuing kickoff return, go back for a touchdown. And then as the Heat was trying to run the clock out, a scoop and score, touchdown by Lancaster. That puts us at 8-6. 20 seconds remain. Third and about 14. And we got a penalty marker. It's going to be false start against the Heat. Oh, no, excuse me. It's against Lancaster. I apologize. So here we go. So it's going to be 3rd and 7. And McLeod drops back, throws towards the sideline. If he gets out of bounds, the clock will stop. And the referee's winding the clock over there. He's saying he didn't get out of bounds. That's complete to number 1, Frankie Martinez. There's 9, 8, 7 seconds remain. See if they get a playoff. 5, 4, 3, 2. And here we go. Low snap. And it's a punt. Oh, my goodness. Not sure why that happened. And here we go, 21 with the return as time's expired here. So 21, Tracy Williams Jr. with a nice return. Unfortunately, number 22, Levi Jackson, is down, and that's halftime. It's going to be 8-6 here at the half with the Heat leading the Mustangs. So join us for the second half. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Lodi Great Bowl. This is Central Valley TV. I'm your host, Carlos Franco, and we are here live from the Great Bowl in Lodi. It is 8-6 in favor of the Central Valley Heat. We're going to kick off the second half. Lancaster Mustangs are the visitors. Let me tell you, it was a crazy first half. Touchdown by Hezekiah Dawson on a kickoff return on a safety. So let me tell you how it happened. Lancaster decided to punt. Their punter kicked the ball, went into the end zone. It was a safety. Ensuing kickoff, Hezekiah Dawson takes the ball back, touchdown. The Heat are up 8-0. As they were trying to run out the clock, there was a scoop and score by number 39 of Lancaster. That was Clarence Taylor III doing his best impersonation of Herm Edwards. In the Miracle in the Meadowlands, he picks up the ball, scores a touchdown, and we are at 6-8. So we are about to kick off. I've been told it's going to be a running clock because the game started late today. So it's 8-6. We're playing 10-minute quarters. And here we go. Kick off the third quarter. That's number 14. Going to receive the kickoff. And he's got some room to run. So that's 14 on the return. Myron Johnson Kitchings taken out by number 19 of the Heat, Anthony Dawson Jr. And as I mentioned, the game started later today. It was originally set to kick off at 2:15. 6-hour drive from Lancaster. Some players arrived a little bit late. It was pushed back to 3 o'clock kickoff. And as a result, we're playing 10-minute quarters. Now we started with 12-minute quarters, and now we have to play a running clock. The game has to be completed by 4:45 is the set time, as referees have prior commitments with the other league games here in the CFCA. We're bringing you some great football here in the spring. So now we have, I believe Robert James is still at the quarterback position for Lancaster. I'll double check, and he is. Hands the ball to number 2. And number 2 is taking down the backfield. Nick Angelo, along with number 55, I believe that is, getting up on the bottom of the pile. 56.
Number 2, ball carrier.
So number 56, I apologize there. That's Matthew Martinez. Made that initial stop, helped by number 17. He took down number 2, Manson, the running back. And the uniforms worn by the Heat have blue and pink in honor of autism awareness and breast cancer awareness. So here we go. We got 2 receivers out of the side. Little bubble screen that's set up there. Number 14. That's Myron Johnson Kitchings, hit immediately by number 33. Nice open field tackle by Kirk Toney out of Stagg High School. Plays for Coach Norton there. Alumni, Stagg High. They are always competitive with Coach Norton. He's set to, well, I don't want to ruin it for him, but he's getting really close to the all-time record in NorCal of victories. He's been at Stagg many, many years. With me personally, he's always been a class act, and he's still coaching at Stagg. And there's one of his former players making a big play here for the Heat. So it's going to be 3rd and 10. James looks over to his right where he has 2 receivers to either side. He's looking deep. Number 9, ball's tipped. As I believe that was Zero Sincon, the leading he leads the team in interceptions, number 0. Nandre Sincon almost came up with that ball from a safety position. Almost had an interception earlier in the game too, but almost doesn't count unless you're playing cornhole. So here we go. It's going to be 4th down. And it looks like Lancaster is staying in offensive formation as far as the huddle. So here we go. James is still in the quarterback. Now he could punt if he chose to, but 4th down. And here he goes. He's going to throw the ball to number 1. Nice. He's still on his feet. And that is Strange. And I don't mean that that's strange as like weird to see. That's his last name, Vincent Strange Jr. Number 1, I talked about him the whole first half. His athleticism, plays corner, plays receiver. He's a kickoff. And there's a flag on the play. It's going to be a personal foul, roughing the passer against the Heat. So James on 4th and about 12 completes that pass to Vincent Strange Jr., who is out of Palmdale College of the Canyons. He picks up a 1st down and then tack on the roughing the passer penalty. They got a 1st down, Lancaster does. 1st and 10 from the Heat 27, and they're trailing by 2 with 5 minutes, 15 seconds in the 3rd quarter. That was a huge play. That penalty and the play itself, we combined them, and Strange is up top by himself as well, top of your screen. And I spoke about that possibility, and there it is. And what a catch. No catch. He bobbled it, and then he did come down with the ball. The referee says no. The side judge is like, no, he didn't have possession. But James saw the matchup that I saw from up here, favorable for him. He took the shot, just didn't happen the way they had planned for it to happen. But nevertheless, it's going to be second down. 2nd and 10. So James comes out at quarterback. Vincent Strange was out catching a breather.
They got a big boy at center, number 55.
So they have 3 receivers to the right. Bad snap, ball's on the ground. Oh, and that's going to be a penalty. And we got some tempers flaring. That was number 69. 69 for the Heat is not on my roster, along with Nick Angelo Sr. Guys are doing their WWE impersonation there. And you can't do that. You pick up a penalty, personal foul, and they do get that personal foul. I mean, that's no question. There shouldn't even be arguing about that. I believe it was 17 that was involved in that. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, I apologize. But nevertheless, the penalty was pretty blatant, yes. It just, no need to argue about that one. This is football, not WWE. And you pick up another 15 yards. So now we go back to the original broadcast. I mean, when the broadcast began, and we talk about how the Heat have been their own enemies, not being able to sustain drives offensively, committing these types of penalties, and especially at crucial times. So you have 2 personal foul penalties just in this drive alone. That's 30 yards that you've given your opponent, the Mustangs. And the Mustangs, they're battle-tested. They've played all these tough teams, and they've been in there, so they know how to win. And they're sticking around. You can't let the team hang around. There's only a 2-point difference here in the score. And so James comes out. He has a 1st and 10 inside the 20-yard line. Hands the ball to number 2. He's hit immediately. He's hit immediately by number 44 of the Heat. That's John taken down by, and with some help of his teammates. But John was there first. We've said his name a couple times today. He's from Ceres High School. So it's going to be second down for number 18, working at quarterback here, Robert James. 2 receivers either side, and he's got number 1 up there again by himself at the top of your screen, going against number 1, Frankie Martinez. James decides to keep the ball. Strange up there blocking. Big pickup for number 18. As a minute remains in the 3rd quarter. Now, he didn't pick up the 1st down, so it's going to be 3rd and 2. It's a 2-point game. Now, we mentioned that Lancaster showed up here without the entire herd. The Mustangs only have a few players, so I'm not sure if they have a kicker here, someone who's going to, if they're thinking field goal possibility, or if they just know that, hey, if I don't get this,
30 seconds.
Down to 30 seconds here in the 3rd quarter, as Strange surveys the defense. 2 receivers to either side. Decides to keep the ball on the ground, and now it's decision time for Coach Thompson. He's going to probably take us down to the end of the 3rd quarter. Coach Thompson is standing there on the 25-yard line. And he's going to take it down to the end of the quarter. Smart decision.
those delicious wings over there by the concession stand. Don't forget to pick up a drink and some snacks while you are at it.
It's classy that they got the colors of the cancer awareness and the autism.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Central Valley TV. I'm your host, Carlos Franco. We're going to go into the fourth quarter here with the Heat leading the Lancaster Mustangs 8-6. Now, Lancaster's has benefited by 2 personal fouls here, 30 yards that they picked up on penalties from the Heat on this drive alone. And now it's decision time. I was looking over the sideline with Coach Thompson, seeing that he was going to wait, let the quarter run out. And he's got a 4th down. Is he going to go for it in regards to, he could pick up the first down, obviously. He doesn't have to score a touchdown here. Or he's going to try to kick the field goal. And they're coming out with Robert James still at quarterback. Now, I thought it was 4th and 2. The sticks appear to be 4th and 5. So here we go. 4th down. Lancaster is going to go for it. And they got a freebie. Another penalty. And trust me, that was by design. That's not something that they just thought of. That's going to be a first down. Assuming the penalty is against the Heat. No, it's going to go against the offense. So I'm sure they met in the huddle. Said, let's go on a different snap count. And the penalty is called against the Mustangs. So now we got 4th and 10. If you were thinking field goal, again, I don't know if their kicker traveled or if Coach Thompson was just that's not even an option for him. I'm not sure, but either way, it's 4th and 10. 3 receivers to James's left. Vincent Strange is coming to talk to James. He's down here with Frankie Martinez, and Sincon is up top, so he's attracting a lot of attention over here at the bottom of your screen. And he's still going to go to him. And Sincon almost has his 3rd interception of the day. Pass falls incomplete. I'm sure Sincon is going to watch this film here of Central Valley TV and be like, man, I could have had 3 interceptions. So he is leading the team in interceptions. Nevertheless, the Heat defense holds, and now it's going to be 1st and 10 for McLeod and the offense, leading 8-6 with 7 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the game. Now they got to pick up some first downs here, keep the clock. Obviously, it's rolling already. It's running, I should say. But they want to continue to matriculate down the field and not give the ball back, obviously, to the Mustangs. Now, so far, their biggest enemy has been them. It's been the Heat themselves. So, sustain the drive here, no penalties. And you might be looking at your first victory of the year as we get to the 7-minute mark in the final quarter. McLeod gives the ball to Sally, who's still on his feet. Breaks the initial tackle. Number 7, Sean Johnson, initially had Sally in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage, and Sally just ran through that arm tackle and kept going. And I'm not even sure if they even tackled him. About 3 or 4 guys on him. He's the leading rusher for the Heat.
Official timeout for injury.
Now we're down to 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So McLeod comes out, surveying the defense, has three receivers to his right, one to his left. That's Frankie Martinez, bottom of your screen. Throws a quick screen out there to number 14, still on his feet. And we got a penalty marker. 14, that's DJ Morgan. Picked up some nice blocks. Taking down by, I believe 44 was at the bottom of the pile for the Mustangs. That's Terrell Dawson, Lancaster High School product. But there is some laundry on the field. It's holding versus the Heat. Once again, those penalties. He had a nice positive play there. Completion to Morgan, first down. Takes you back now, so we're looking at second and about 11.
Take a selfie, guys.
So here we go. Got to be not necessarily conservative here offensively, but you got to realize, hey, I'm near my own end zone here. And there we go. A sidearm throw, incomplete to Martinez. So as I mentioned, that pass falls incomplete. So you got third down, and you're near your own end zone. Something that I'm sure Coach Rivera has a lot of offensive knowledge. He's going to be considering different things on this third down play as they take a timeout. So as we're nearing the end of the game, we wanted to once again thank our sponsor, Central Valley TV, Dynamic Security, Rough Road Adventures, Daniel Villa Art Studio, Chef Omar was cooking some great food out here. I mean, we could smell it here up in the press box. Just want to thank everyone who makes these games possible, all the volunteers, and of course you who are watching this broadcast. Thanks for letting us be part of your day today. So a recap of today's action. We started a little bit late today. 2:15 was the original kickoff time. Pushed back to 3 o'clock because of Lancaster arriving. And we got started. We had to go 12-minute quarters. There was a punt attempt that resulted in a safety for Lancaster. The ensuing kickoff was returned by Hezekiah Dawson. Touchdown for the Heat. As the Heat tried to run out the ball in the first half, there was a scoop and score by number 29. No, excuse me, not number 29, by number 39. Clarence Taylor III for a touchdown. 2-point conversions fell incomplete, and we are at 8-6 with 4 minutes, 29 seconds remaining in the game. 3rd and 10, Heat. McLeod throws to Frankie Martinez. Quick completion there. Tackled by 21 along with number 14. So that's Myron Johnson Kitchings and Tracy Williams Jr. So something that you didn't want to happen here, assuming that Lancaster receives this punt. They may have the last possession on offense, and it's a 2-point game. And number 39 is back deep. Clarence Taylor III, who has their touchdown. And that's a short punt. And it starts to take, oh my goodness, 24. That's Nicholas Gamble with a dangerous yet heads-up play. Oh my goodness. That could have been really bad for the Mustangs. But I see what he was trying to do. So here we go. So we have a first down for the Mustangs. 3 minutes, 13 seconds left in the game, and you're down by 2 are the Mustangs. So this is an exciting game. It's been We had a little bit of all kinds of craziness going on as 34 is trying to figure out, hey, am I in, am I out? What am I doing here? And 21 says, all right, I'm out. All right, so here we go. And number 18, and a quarterback gets the ball to number 1, Strange. So we've been saying their names all day, Robert James and number 1, Vincent Strange Jr. And I go back to what we mentioned earlier. Do they have a kicker on the Mustang sideline, or is this because 3 points obviously would get something done for you? I don't know what the situation is over there, but we're definitely going to find out. So the Heat have to come up big. The Heat could just, end all the nonsense that I'm talking about by coming up with a stop here. So here we go. Second down. James looking over to his right, his 2 receivers. He might throw the ball quickly out to his right. He decides to scramble to his right, and he throws the ball late across the middle. Ooh, ball falls incomplete. You always hear it, don't throw the ball late across the middle. Yeah, okay, but if he'd have completed it, everyone would be like, yeah, oh, wow. Everybody here held their breath. The ball hit the ground. Third down.
Teams come in, teams go out.
This is an exciting ball game here, ladies and gentlemen. Robert James keeping everybody on the edge of their seats. Him and Lancaster made that 6-hour drive. There's a minute 24 seconds left. And we got 3rd and 10. Here we go. James drops back. Oh, and he's taken down. I believe that's number 44. And we got a timeout called by Lancaster. That's number 97. That's Alejandro Bernal with the flashy dance moves as well. And number 44, I believe, John, I believe he was there. If it was not him, I apologize. But we got a timeout, so now it's 4th down. As I mentioned, we don't know if they have a kicker over there at Lancaster. Coach Thompson took the timeout. 1 minute, 6 seconds remain. And I remind everyone back at home, you don't have to go for the touchdown here. You can still get a first down. So hopefully we have some people joining us back in the nice city of Lancaster watching their team here, sitting on the edge of your seats, as well as the people here in the stadium. Here we go. James surveying the field, 2 receivers to either side, sidecar to his left. Takes the snap, looking across the middle. Ball is intercepted by the Heat. And that's number 11 coming up big, Junior Williams. The former Delta College Mustang out of Stockton, California. Huge play there. Now the clock is continuing to run as we talked about the late start today. So that's going to take us down to the end of the game here. I'm not sure if they even have to run another play. Junior Williams comes up big on that interception. And it looks like the Heat are going to get their first win of the season. Very valiant effort by Lancaster. And we want to thank everyone for joining us here at Central Valley TV. Continue to follow us on our social media as the Heat have another game, home game this year. If you could join us in the stands and also at your house there watching on the screen. I want to thank Lancaster Mustangs for making that drive and coming up here. Great game today. Thanks for joining us at Central Valley TV. I'm your host, Carlos Franco. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Well, it got exciting.